Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Can you believe it? It is the first day of fall. 2025. So happy fall to everybody that loves fall. It's their favorite season. Of course, my favorite season is summer because my birthday's in summer. And also, it's warm. I get to wear shorts and stuff out. So that's why my favorite season is summer. Mostly because my birthday's in summer. It's in June. So yeah, and also because it's warm and get to wear shorts. Not like cold out, but of course, fall. We're gonna get into some cool weather, which some people may like, others won't. But that's how it's going to be in the fall. So happy fall to everybody that likes fall. Another announcement, I'm still going to get a prospects video out on the TG Hockey channel, so stay tuned for that. I know I've been saying it the past few episodes on the Hockey Talk TG podcast, but that is something I'm still going to try to get out before the regular season starts, which will be in another 2 weeks. Another 2 weeks until the regular season starts. So I know I said this many times on the past few episodes. I'm still going to get a prospects video out, whether that be a ranking video or just reviewing over some of the top prospects, or it could be both. I'm still going to get one out on the TG Hockey channel before the regular season starts, so stay tuned for that. I do have an Ole Miss Rebels video coming out today on the TG Hockey channel around maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. It is the D3 team versus the EKU Colonels. First time that the Rebels are playing the ACHA, by the way, which to those who don't know what that stands for American Collegiate Hockey Association. We have a D2 and D3 team at Ole Miss. One more announcement. If you're new to the podcast or your first time listening, make sure to like and subscribe to the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. each time. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you will. Follow the Hockey Talk TG podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, so you won't miss any of the good stuff and any episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. But we're going to start the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on some sad news. Hockey Hall of Famer and Philadelphia Flyers icon Bernie Parent passed away on Sunday at the age of 80. Played 13 seasons in the NHL. He had a .271, .198, and .119 record with a 2.55 goals against average and a .915 save percentage and 54 shutouts in 608 games played. He won 2 Stanley Cups with the Philadelphia Flyers, both being in 1974 and 1975. He played 10 seasons with the Philadelphia Flyers, and in those 10 seasons, he had a .231, 141, and 102 record with a 2.43 goals against average and a .917 save percentage and 50 shutouts. His number 1 was retired by the Philadelphia Flyers in 1979. And in both of the championship seasons he had with the Philadelphia Flyers, Bernie Parent won the Vezina Trophy, which goes out to the best regular season goaltender, and he also won the Conn Smythe Trophy, which goes out to playoff MVP, which is a very rare double for a goaltender, let alone doing it in 2 straight seasons. And in 1973-1974 season, Bernie Parent set an NHL single season mark by winning 47 games during the regular season, a record in his era for regulation wins. And again, he was a Philadelphia icon. He set the tone for the Flyers in the 1970s, brought out, the Broad Street Bullies, as the Flyers were nicknamed. So, an icon, and a couple of netminders that, just recently passed away. with Ken Dryden passing away not too long ago. So it's very tough. And speaking of which, I do have Ken Dryden's book, The Game. I bought it. I wanted to get this book for a long time, and I finally got it. This is the book right here, Ken Dryden, The Game. Arguably, or probably the best. I shouldn't say probably, the best hockey book of all time. Even Sports Illustrated said it. So this is the book, The Game, by Ken Dryden. I wanted this book for a long time, and I finally got it. So I start reading it, and I think it's a really great hockey book, even though I, again, haven't read it yet. But read some reviews saying it was a great hockey book. I'm going to read the book for myself, tell you guys what I think of it, and yeah, it's just hate to see like these icons, Ken Dryden, Bernie Parent, had some way, but Bernie Parent did had his NHL career cut short because he was struck in the right eye by a stick that threaded through a hole in his goalie mask, and the damage to his vision was permanent, and it forced him to retire at age 34. He was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1984, and he was the first player from the Flyers to be inducted. He was also named among one of the NHL's top 100 greatest players during the NHL Centennial season in 2017. So RIP to Bernie Parent. My condolences go out to his wife, family, friends, the Flyers organization, Flyers fans, anybody who is affected by this tragedy. My condolences go out to all you guys. Bernie Parent, Philadelphia Flyers icon, Philadelphia icon, a Hockey Hall of Famer icon, did it all with the Philadelphia Flyers in the 1970s. Rest in peace. Never forgotten, Bernie Parent. Now going to go into the NHL preseason news for today. So we'll start things off by recapping the Blues and Stars game from Saturday. First preseason game of the 2025-26 year. And the Stars got it done. Sam Steele scored the shootout game-winning goal, and the Stars 2-1 shootout win over the St. Louis Blues on Saturday. In the first preseason game of the 2025-26 season, Stars outshot the Blues 34-15 in their preseason opener. Maverick Bork scored the other goal for the Dallas Stars, tied the game up with a one-time slap shot from the left point at 14 minutes and 33 seconds of the second period. And Remy Porter, hopefully I said that name right, made 10 saves on 11 shots faced before being replaced by Antoine Bibeau, hopefully I said that last name right, who stopped all 4 shots in relief in the third period. And for the St. Louis Blues, Justin Carbonneau scored the lone goal for St. Louis. That came on the power play 50 seconds in the second period. Jordan Binnington stopped 19 of 20 shots faced the net over the first 2 periods. Colton Ellis came in relief of Jordan Binnington and made 14 saves. A notable debut for the St. Louis Blues, defenseman Logan Mailloux. Hopefully I'm pronouncing these names right. If I'm not, just let me know down in the comments. Logan Mailloux, who was acquired from the Montreal Canadiens, recorded 1 assist and logged in 25 minutes and 29 seconds of ice time in his St. Louis Blues debut. The Blues went 1 for 3 on the power play. Stars went 0 for 5 on the power play, but they still got it done nonetheless. The Blues had 31 hits in the game, while the Stars had 12 hits. And the Blues did play on Sunday. They lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1. Nikita Alexandrov scored the lone goal in that game. But the Blues' next preseason game is this Saturday at home against my Chicago Blackhawks at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Starting for 3-game homestand for the Blues, and then they're on the road next Saturday, October the 4th, against the Blackhawks. For the Stars, they will play at home against the Minnesota Wild on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Moving on from that preseason game to the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils. The rivalry battle, the Hudson River. I forget the name of the rivalry. But yeah, Rangers and Devils. Rangers held off the Devils for a 5-3 win on Sunday. Gabe Perreault made his preseason NHL debut. He was a 2023 first-round pick. He opened the scoring at 3 minutes and 12 seconds of the first period with a wrist shot from the slot after a feed from Casey Fischer-Gerard. I'm terrible at these names, guys. Forgive me. If I'm mispronouncing these names at all, please let me know down in the comments. Dylan Rubrick contribute a goal and assist in the game, including a rebound goal at 3 minutes and 11 seconds of the second period, helping the Rangers regain the lead. And then veteran forward Connor Sheary extended the Rangers' lead to 3-1 with a breakaway goal at 11 minutes and 45 seconds of the second period. And Scott Moore, Orbaro, and Johnny Bozinski also scored for the Rangers. Jonathan Quick made 12 of 13 saves for the Rangers before being replaced by backup goalie Dylan Garan, who made 13 saves in relief. And for the Devils, their prospect Arnesene Grisky had a goal and an assist, including a power play goal at 18 minutes and 20 seconds of the third period. And Paul Cotter scored a goal off assist from Grisky. And Brian Halloran also scored for the Devils, while Jake Allen made 9 saves on 10 shots faced the net. Jake Allen was replaced by Nico Dawes, who made 9 saves on 13 shots in relief. Injury note to report for the game. Devils defenseman Kalen Addison left the game after an elbow to the head. It may require monitoring. I think he might also have I don't want to say head concussion. Could be the case, but we'll just have to see. Devils are at home against the Islanders on Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Rangers play the Bruins Tuesday at home at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That will be an original 6 matchup to watch. That game will air on NHL Network. But moving on to the Minnesota Wild and Winnipeg Jets preseason game on Sunday. Yakov Trenin, he scores 2 goals in the Wild's 3-2 overtime win over the Winnipeg Jets on Sunday. He had a goal in the second period, along with scoring the overtime game-winning goal. And this was a comeback win for the Minnesota Wild. They were down 2-1 at the end of the first period, tied the game up on the power play, and forced overtime. And Jesper Wallstedt, one of the Minnesota Wild's young goaltenders, I think he's playing in Iowa with the Wild, or had some NHL time last season, not sure, but he made 21 saves on 23 shots, faced the net. And for the Winnipeg Jets, they had 2 early goals in the first period. They had goals from Morgan Barron on the power play and Daniel Zikin. Hopefully I pronounced that last name right. And Isaac Poulter made 9 saves on 11 shots facing net. He was replaced by Thomas Milik, who made 7 saves on 8 shots faced in net. Next game, the Wild face the Stars Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Jets will take on the Edmonton Oilers Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Moving on to the Islanders preseason game against the Philadelphia Flyers. And Matthew Schaefer made his preseason NHL debut with the Islanders in their 3-2 shootout loss to the Philadelphia Flyers. He was the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 NHL draft. He had an assist in his debut. He set up the Islanders' first goal of the game. His shot was stopped by Flyers goaltender Alexei Kolosov, but the rebound came to Kyle Palmieri, who buried it, and Matthew Schaefer got an assist on the play. He logged in almost 25 minutes in his preseason debut, which is a big workload for a rookie right there, but Matthew Schaefer got it done. He co-led the team with 5 shots on goal. He was active offensively, also made some key defensive plays, including breaking up a breakaway in overtime. Early mistakes, he had a couple penalties against him and a misjudged pass that led to a goal against the Islanders. But other than that, he had a solid, great preseason NHL debut. And Islanders head coach Patrick Roy was very proud and happy of the performance that Matthew Schaefer had put on. And the crowd at UBS Arena was happy to see him debut. He's going to be a great player for the New York Islanders come his official NHL debut. And he might sneak into being a Calder candidate. No. But for the Islanders and Flyers game, that game went to a 11-round shootout with Emily Andrade scoring the shootout game-winning goal. Rodrigo Albalis and Matvey Michkov scored for the Flyers. Alexei Kolosov made 15 saves on 17 shots, faced the net. Carson Bjarnason, I don't know if the B is silent or not, he came in and stopped all 17 shots, faced the net. And for the Islanders, again, Kyle Palmieri scored for the Islanders. Martian Wallen added another goal for the Islanders. David Riddick made 13 saves on 14 shots, faced the net. And Parkin Gatkin took over the rest of the game, including overtime, and stopped 15 of 16 shots, faced the net. Islanders did not convert on the power play. They were 0 for 3. Flyers didn't score on the power play either. They were 0 for 4. But the next game for the Isles will be on Tuesday against the New Jersey Devils at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Flyers continued their 3-game preseason road trip in Montreal against the Canadiens Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. But moving over from the East Coast to the West Coast, Golden Knights and Sharks. Alex Nedeljkovic stopped all 24 shots faced in his Sharks debut, and the Sharks' 3-0 shutout win over the VGK Vegas Golden Knights. John Klingberg, Jeff Skinner, and Tyler Toffoli all scored for the Sharks. John Klingberg and Jeff Skinner scored in the second. Tyler Toffoli iced the game away in the third period. Michael Misa, who was the number 2 pick in the 2025 NHL Draft, made his preseason NHL debut. He played 17 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time, and he was on the line. I think he played center with Quentin Musty and Tyler Toffoli. Created multiple chances, and he was really competitive. I know a lot of people had something to say about that, about him being competitive in this game. So he didn't look too bad in his preseason debut. He was good on faceoffs as well. Another rookie to watch, Sam Dickinson. He had 2 assists in his preseason debut. He logged in 18 minutes and 15 seconds of time on ice, and he was paired with defenseman Vincent Desjardins. And he looked more comfortable and controlled than before in last preseason. I didn't mean to say that he made his NHL debut this preseason. It was actually last season, so that's my mistake right there. Penalty kill, special teams notes. The Sharks power play converted early. John Klingberg with the power play goal, and their penalty kill was not too bad as well. So their penalty kill stood tall for them. They killed off a 5-on-3, and in general were tight, especially in the third period, where Vegas had several chances to score or to get shot on net. Sharks killed it off. Overall looks, John Klingberg and Jeff Skinner, 2 all-season pickups for the San Jose Sharks, made immediate impressions in their Sharks debut, and the Sharks' young core with Michael Misa, Sam Dixon, and Quentin Musty showed signs of promise, pace, positioning, making plays under pressure. Sharks, up right next to the Blackhawks, are going to be a dangerous young core in the next few years. I can see the Sharks and Blackhawks probably developing somewhat of a NHL rivalry, even though they don't play in the same division. Sharks play in the Pacific Division, Blackhawks play in the Central Division, but they're both in the Western Conference, and they both have young star talent. I can even see Macklin Celebrini developing some kind of a rivalry with Connor Bedard. We'll just have to see. But for the Sharks, they will play the Golden Knights again on Friday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Golden Knights are at home against the LA Kings on Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. But moving on from two Pacific Division teams to other two Pacific Division teams in the Seattle Kraken and Vancouver Canucks. And the Seattle Kraken hold off their Northboard rivals, the Vancouver Canucks, with a 5-3 win on Sunday. Yanni Nyman scored twice and Cooley won in the second. That showed off this ability to get into good scoring positions and finish clearly. One of the goals that he scored was on the power play. Edward Sales scored the first goal of the game for Seattle. And Seattle's special teams really came through in this win. Jaden Schwartz scored on the power play, and Yanni Nyman, like I mentioned, also had a power play goal in this one. Kraken killed off a penalty early, so their penalty kill was absolutely sharp in the win. John Hayden also scored for Seattle. Vince Dunn had 3 assists. Capo Caco contributed with 2 assists and was involved in creating chances for the Kraken. Joey DeCoy made 9 saves on 11 shots faced the net. He was replaced by Nicholas Kakko, who made, or Kakko, or I don't know how you pronounce the last name, but he made 13 saves on 14 shots faced in relief. And for the Canucks, Victor Mancini scored a power play goal. Chase Stillman had a penalty shot goal, and Niels Almond scored for Vancouver. Nikita Topilo made 13 saves on 14 shots faced in net, but Ty Young, not Ty Glenn, but Ty Young came in relief and made 6 saves on 10 shots faced in net. For me, I'm just telling you guys straight up, I can never play goaltender. I can never play goalie in hockey. I never played goalie in hockey before. I always been a right wing. I always played at the forward position in hockey. Never, ever in my life have I ever played goaltender. I just couldn't play goaltender. I would have sucked at it, if I'm being honest with you guys. I always played right wing during all my years of playing hockey. I always played the forward position. Sometimes maybe center, but mostly I played right wing. Never ever played the goalie before. But anyway, the Canucks, they head home to take on the Calgary Flames Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Kraken start a 3-game Western Canada road trip against the Flames Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Other preseason games from Sunday, we're just gonna recap some of the split squad games. Won't get too much into depth about it. In the first split squad game between the Predators and Panthers, the Predators shut out the Panthers 5-0, and then they won 5-3 in the second game. For the Avalanche and the Mammoth, Avalanche won 5-1 in the first game, and then the Mammoth won 3-2 in the second one. The Flames and Oilers Battle of Alberta. The Flames won 3-2 in overtime in the first split squad game, and then the Oilers shut them out 3-0 in the second game. And in other preseason games that happened on Sunday, the Maple Leafs won 4-3 against the Senators. Capitals won 5-2 against the Bruins, and the Ducks won 3-1 against the LA Kings. But some more preseason games on the slate for today. There's only 4 NHL preseason games on the slate for today, starting with the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, followed by Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the Montreal Canadiens at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That game will air on NHL Network for you guys to watch. And then it will be the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Carolina Hurricanes at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then it will be the Utah Mammoth taking on the Anaheim Ducks at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That game will also air on NHL Network after the Penguins and Canadiens game. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. Apologies for stuttering a lot and getting most of the last names wrong for these NHL players. I'm going to learn them eventually, though, but it's going to have to take some time. So I do apologize for stuttering a lot and getting some of the last names for the NHL players wrong. But anyways, don't forget to hit like, subscribe on the Hockey Talk TG Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure that you are following on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We are with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. each time. So make sure that you give this podcast a follow for all the in-depth analysis of the teams, players, stats, all that good stuff that you will find specifically here on the Hockey Talk with TG podcast and nowhere else. Your number one podcast for all things hockey. So make sure that you smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, follow on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We are with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m., 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure that you give this podcast a follow so you won't miss any episode of the Hockey Talk TG podcast. Don't forget, we have an Ole Miss Rebels video coming out later on today on the TG Hockey channel. So make sure you head on over and hit that notification bell so you can get notified from when the video comes out. And make sure that you subscribe to the TG Hockey channel as well. Both of you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep God first as always. Be blessed. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Take care.